Hi there, and welcome to the Catapult PR show. Now, earlier this month, I attended an event at which I was asked what an insurance broker should be doing to market themselves effectively these days. That's a really good question, but here's where it gets interesting. When I said that it was essential that they really start to embrace AI search and all the strategies that lay behind that, the broker said that AI was leading them to think it was time to get out of broking and go and do something else. Now, that was an eye-opener. Is it necessary, I thought? And obviously, the instant answer I came up with was no. But what is necessary is that insurance brokers and others who are providing a client service of some kind open their eyes to what is going on. They probably need to be honest enough to recognise that they've been sleepwalking for a few years now and haven't given any time to what they needed to have been doing with their marketing. And this is something that's just as applicable to you if you are an accountant or a vet or an architect or a solicitor or anyone who's providing a service that can seem identical to another service unless you really underline a point of difference and communicate what you and you alone stand for and why people should trust you. So does this sound like you? Well, if it does, hold on to your hat because I am speaking to you in this episode. Now, I've been working with insurance brokers and insurance companies and every man and his dog relating to insurance, I think, since the year dot. And I know that marketing isn't something that many easily embrace. I'm pretty sure, given my experience in the pet sector, that vets are exactly the same. And accountants are notoriously bad at this. Solicitors are a little bit better, maybe, but still lack a cutting edge at times. And architects may be a bit hit and miss. Now, many of the professionals in these categories have grown up in a world where work has come through personal referrals or networking. They've built businesses on that basis. But the younger generation working in these professions often haven't. They've looked to the internet and to websites for custom. But now, all of a sudden, a rug has been pulled under their website traffic. They've fallen down the rankings. They're just not being found online. And this is a big issue for some businesses in these sectors. Local businesses are losing out to national chains or fellow professionals in bigger city practices. In the insurance sector, younger brokers are struggling for the very first time with a soft insurance market. Their client portfolio is under attack from many brokers, and yet they themselves are not being found online by all the clients wanting to take advantage of a competitive market. Not being found online is becoming a really big problem. Now, there is a litmus test that I want you to take right now. Press the pause button and go away and Google your business for a minute for the search term that most logically should help you appear on page 1 of Google. Now, that could be, best broker in Burnley or really good vet in Bury. Whatever that term would be for your business or for your area of expertise or specialisation, perhaps if you are a lawyer, please Google that term and find out whether you appear in Google search when you put that term into Google. If you don't come up there for that term, this is absolutely the most obvious suggestion that someone needing your service would not find you. And at this point, I'm going to boldly suggest that you have either done nothing or been frittering away resource for virtually no return on social media. Perhaps you've spent an absolute fortune on Google AdWords. What you need to do if you want to continue to compete for online attention and be found by prospects is to switch your thinking. So here's the absolute key strategy for your future online. Now, what we need to do firstly is give you the perfect mix. And to do that, we need to combine what you are saying about yourself with what other people are saying about you. Now, talking about yourself needs to be done in various ways. It needs to be done on your own websites. It needs to be done in blogs and online articles that are on your website. It needs to be done through downloads, advice guides, Q&As, white papers that customers can access from your website, but which have content that is going to help you rise up the Google rankings because it looks like you've got authority in what you're talking about when you talk about yourself. And we can also add in a bit of social media. Now, remember, the other half of this equation is what other people say about you. So how do you get other people to say something about you? Well, you can get your mates down the pub to pen a few words for you, but what use would that be? What you need is for people with some gravitas to speak about you if you want to impress the search engines. And who has gravitas? Well, Stephen Fry, perhaps, or Sir Trevor MacDonald. But you're not likely to be able to call them up, are you? So here's what you do. You leverage your case studies and your customer reviews to the absolute hilt. But you also get the most powerful third-party endorsers, the media, to talk about you on their platforms, seemingly giving you their thumbs up as an expert. And how do you do that? Well, in 3 words, through public relations. PR is the insurance broker or client service business's best friend. Not only can it generate the media exposure that you need, so as to get these other people saying things about you, but it can also deploy the skills a PR practitioner uses to create all of the necessary blogs and downloads and online content that we've talked about for the what you say about yourself part of the mix. So why does this formula of what other people say about you plus what you say about yourself equal success in marketing terms? Well, it all boils down to the way information is being gathered by AI chatbots, whether they are the servants of Google or the servants of Bing or ChatGPT or one of a plethora of others. Regardless of what they want to see something that's an acronym, EEAT. This stands for experience, expertise, authority, and trust. And it represents Judgment Day for your brokerage, your practice, your vet surgery, whatever you are in your client serving business. That's because in AI search, you are scrutinized and you stand or you fall on the basis of how much EEAT you have. More importantly, you're adjudicated on how much EEAT you openly communicate in all of the places that matter. Think of your EEAT as a pie chart of the 4 elements. The chatbot wishes to visit all parts and really end up in the shared bit in the middle of the pie chart that shows that you've got all these EEAT bases covered. And that's because chatbots want to buy into someone like you because they have just a few core aims. They want to answer a user's inquiry quickly, but also hook that user up with someone who can help them because that person is the person who is best served to do so. It's like a pre-qualification exercise. So, if you are not demonstrating that you are that person who can help, both through what you say about yourself and what you're doing to make others talk about you, you are not going to the top of the pile when that chatbot comes calling and seeks to answer a user's query. That chatbot is collating information from various sources. But if your key messages are not appearing in those places that it's visiting, it has nothing to go on to reference you and your business. And if you're invisible, you are going to remain invisible until you put it right. You could also run the risk of slipping out of view entirely if you don't do something very fast. So hopefully you now see how it works. Do you perhaps also see why your web traffic may have fallen recently? Do you perhaps appreciate that a competitor who is actually being found online may have been using these right online tactics, particularly because Google has wanted to see clear demonstrations of EEAT for a couple of years now? Yes, of course, some search is on social media, but is anyone actually using Instagram to search for an insurance broker or for an accountant? I pretty much doubt that's going on. If you jump onto LinkedIn, There seem to be a host of lawyers who are all seeking to be the best friend you never had, telling you about their social lives, families, hobbies, presumably because someone has told them to have a personality. But is that EEAT? I'm seeing very little evidence of that. Maybe it builds trust. I don't think it's really building authority. It's not really communicating expertise. So, to put it simply, your focus really, really needs to be on number one, getting your online content up to scratch and in some depth. You need to load some really great articles onto your website, plus interesting guides, downloads, and help focused documents. The more content you can create, the better. You also need to focus on part two of the strategy that I've outlined to you. You need to be creating a really solid or highly creative PR campaign that will get you into the media as a go to expert on key topics and make you a thought leader in your sector. And if you do that, it's going to give you the added bonus of generating valuable online backlinks that are going to help boost your web traffic. And don't think that a chatbot can do this for you. There's a very strong possibility, if it's not already happening, which experts say it is, that AI-generated content will be easily detected and penalised by search. And let's face it, AI-generated content isn't going to allow you to stand apart with your voice, your opinions, your views, your experience, and your professional examples. All it is doing is scraping what everybody else is saying and regurgitating that. Furthermore, it can be inaccurate. And it also stands out like a sore thumb as having no real heart or narrative. It could also be a plagiarism of other works that have been scraped. And let's not think that chatbots are the only people carrying out plagiarism in this world. But believe me, the plagiarism laws are very severe, and you want to stay on the right side of them, or you'll find yourself in very big trouble. And if you use the chatbots, it could be totally counterproductive because you could be using them to try and build your authority on the one hand and destroying your authority on the other. So, if you've taken my litmus test, you now know that you need to follow my strategy, but are now perhaps struggling to see how to do that. What are you going to do? What's the next step? Well, number one, recognize it's not an overnight fix, but it is a job that you need to tackle. Number two, create a content plan of articles that can put you on the map and start to help you be found online as a go-to expert. Number three, start to put those articles together with really good examples, quotes, citations, and a really good structure that Google wants to see. And it's not just Google that wants to see that, because the chatbots really want that structure as well, because they have to learn and appreciate things really quickly. And so the more structure and help that you can give them to do so, the easier you're making their job for them. Number four, create a solid PR plan that will target your key target audiences with your key messages, build your authority, communicate your expertise, and establish trust. Make this as creative as possible so that you can become not just a spokesperson, but one that has really interesting viewpoints, advice, and opinions. This will instantly bring you closer to your prospective clients if you are an insurance broker. And we know that because, as somebody so heavily involved in the insurance sector, we have carried out our own research, commissioned through an independent research company, which found that 88% of people feel that insurance brokers need to create more online content, which helps contextualize insurance products in everyday scenarios. It's not too great a leap of faith to think that the clients of solicitors, accountants, vets, architects, all the people we've talked about in client-serving businesses feel exactly the same way. You talk a different language to your customers, so you really do need to go to the nth degree to communicate your service in layman's terms and ways that can be easily grasped and understood. Trust can also be built by communicating the work that you do to support your community. But our research also found that 57% of the public are completely unaware of any community support that their insurance provider provides. Now, bearing in mind that this will include the very biggest cricket sponsorships, etc., and all the support programs that the huge insurers throw their weight behind, often advertising on TV as well, it's pretty damning to think that so many members of the public have no idea what they're supporting. So it would suggest to me that these community supporters are completely failing to relate the information in a way that people remember through PR storytelling. And I don't just think this because I was actually in charge of creating that PR storytelling for British Gas's national sponsorship programme. Because guess what? Before that, British Gas didn't tell anybody what they were supporting either. Now, if I look at my insurance broker clients, I can honestly tell you what the situation is with them. Are they thought leaders in their field? Yes, absolutely. Have they established the all important EEAT? Yes, they certainly have. Are clients finding them in a soft insurance market or crowded marketplace? Most definitely. Are they spending a fortune on the content and PR support I'm providing to give them this positioning and searchability? Absolutely not. Are they getting a great return on their investment through the client business that they are attracting on the back of my work? Undoubtedly. Are they picking up the most prestigious insurance awards and B2B awards? Yep, they're serial winners. These clients saw the merit of PR and content long before AI search became the norm. In fact, I've been working with one for 11 years, with another one for 6 years now. There's longevity in what we're doing. PR has been the platform for their growth and their brand building throughout these years. So actually, all that they are now seeing is that there is a real Brucey bonus in all of this, as the same strategies are those now required of those who are wanting to be found online. And why? Because content and PR is all about reputation and communication. And that sits perfectly with the EEAT that the chatbots and the online search functions that are being driven by AI now want to see. And on that note, reputation and communication, remember that that really matters. In the insurance broking world, the last thing that you want to be revealed to be is untrustworthy, unethical, lacking in morals. It's business suicide because, on the one hand, the chatbots can give and AI search can give, and on the other hand, it can take away. And if you are not managing your reputation in a really good way, you'll soon find your business crumbling. So, do abide by those contracts. Don't plagiarize other people's work. You'll soon find yourselves in legal hot water, and that will get picked up, and your business will soon be destroyed. You'll actually be calling upon crisis PR, but in fact, crisis PR probably won't be able to save you. So let's go back to the start. Does the broker that I met at the event that I mentioned need to pack in, throw in the towel, and feel that marketing in an age of AI is a step too far? Most definitely not. All they need to do is change their view of what marketing should look like, take up the right strategies, and get the right help. And on that note, getting the right help is absolutely crucial because we can all play around with things and we can all try to take things under our wing and start to explore them. But I'm as guilty as anybody else of knowing that unless I've got some specialist helping me do the things that I don't particularly want to get involved with, it doesn't get done. It gets put on the back burner. I mean, I'm even really guilty of putting my own marketing on the back burner. So, if you want help with your marketing, which I always prioritize my customers over myself, please give me a call. As I said, I've got clients who are probably very similar to your profile, who are not spending a fortune and are absolutely smashing it. So let's get you to that same level. Give me a call or email me at jane@catapultpr.co.uk. And let's really work on how we're going to get you in front of those clients, regardless of whether you are an insurance broker, whether you are in the legal profession, or whether you do have a service like veterinary care or architects practice or anything else where you would really probably refer to your customer as a client and you're offering a service rather than a product, because everything I've described to you works perfectly with that mix. And it doesn't matter what you do, we can put a plan together where we can help you get back into search and help you be found by the people that you need to serve. So don't despair, don't throw in the towel. Just make the right moves right now before it becomes too late. And I'm here to help you and really look forward to hearing from you.